Okay, do I do the intro now or just? Oh yeah, I need the intro so you can welcome everyone.
Go ahead.
Good. Okay. Many people say okay.
Bro, it's alright, bro. I've had to do that shit in front of Hajun and them. It was super fucking weird. I get it. Don't stress. Like, I'm not thinking anything. Just do your shit, bro.
Okay. No, it's weird. I usually don't do it.
Go ahead. I'm gonna drink some coffee, so I'm gonna stay muted until you call on me.
No, just 1 second. So a lot of people think that winning in Mobile Legends depends completely on mechanics. Whoever has the best skills, who has the fastest hands, will win. That's a very outdated way of thinking. In reality, almost every victory you have is dependent on your draft. If your team's draft looks like a mess, even if you have mechanics as good as Kyrie or King Kong, then you're still gonna struggle. That's why in this video, I will explain how to draft like a professional player, starting from the ban phase to the hero selection. Also guys, let's bring a small content creator. We're trying to give him some views.
I see how it is, bro. Okay. What's up, y'all?
Right, welcome, Sir the jungler, the XP laner, the NACT pro player, the main EXP himself, the legend, the man himself, Zex.
What's up, y'all? Bro is glazed, but I appreciate it.
Okay. I think I'm gonna cut this. So, without further ado, let's start. And welcome again, Zex. Any words for
what's
the
up?
viewers? Hopefully your viewers from your channel are gonna join too.
Yeah, don't worry. They'll be here.
Okay, so guys, make yourself comfortable. Grab your phone or your tablet if you want to, and let's dive in the first part of this video, which is understanding the gameplay styles. So before talking about the bans or picks, you need to understand that there are 3 major gameplay styles for every mobile game. These styles have been existing since the Dota days, and every one of these gameplay styles counter the next one. So we have group up, split push, and Pickoff. Let's start up by group up. So this is when your team always moves together, fights together, rotates together, and takes objectives together. The focus on teamwork and coordinated fights. This style is very effective for taking objectives, Turtle Lord, because your team always has the number advantage. It works best with heroes who have strong AoE or CC, like Atlas, Eve, Farsa, Gatatkacha, Fredrin. Advantages of this gameplay style is having a strong team fight, safe from being picked off, and can snowball quickly if you get all the objectives. On the other hand, this exact playstyle requires you from time to time to abandon your lane to join the team fight, which can be exploited by the enemy. That's why the counter gameplay style to this group up strategy is gonna be the split push.
So yeah, when it comes to split pushing, the main thing you have to consider is that your team has to have at least one split pusher, right? Most of the time, this is going to be something like a Moskov or a Benedetta in past metas. You also have heroes like Joy, Hayabusa, Lancelot now currently that are very strong for still split pushing the map. Now, why is this a counter to Ube, you might ask? Well, it's pretty simple. If you're forcing someone to have to constantly go clear an opposite lane on the map, they don't have that numbers advantage that they want. Now, notice how I said Ube. Ube is the ultimate bonding experience, which is directly under the group up regime. So you want to be playing Ube, obviously, with a group up mentality. You're going to be playing as a team, you're going to have a healer with the Ube strategy, and you guys are always going to be together. But if you're forcing someone to have to go clear the opposite lane through the use of the split pushing strategy, Ube significantly becomes weaker, because what was once the whole advantage of having a 5 versus 4 or 5 versus 5 stronger team fight is now becoming a 4 versus 5 or a 4 versus 4 because one of your teammates has to go clear the other lane. And the thing about Ube is that usually you're picking heroes that are strong together. You're not picking heroes that are strong solo. So if you have a strong enemy split pusher, like I said, a Moskov, a Joy, a Lancelot, a Hayabusa, it is actually a risk to send your teammates sometimes to go defend that lane because they could get solo killed. And with that in mind, that is why split pushing is the ultimate counter to ube or to these kind of group up strategies.
So when this happens, when there is a split pusher, you're gonna have to dedicate at least 2 players to go and defend your lane. So what happens? The number advantage you are having in the group up strategy will fall apart. You have now, since you started with 5v4, you saw the enemy split pushing, and now you end up with 3v4 and you lose the objective, and ultimately you lose the game. But this strategy is not perfect because the split pusher can be countered by Pickoff heroes. So that's why guys, the third and the counter strategy for the split push is the Pickoff strategy, which is pretty simple. This strategy focuses on catching enemies one by one using heroes like Franco, Selena, Show, any burst damage hero who can just go in, kill the enemy, and retreat and move. So
the main thing that you guys need to understand about Pickoff is that you need to, of course, have a Pickoff hero. Most of the time, this is going to be your roamer. It's very rare that you see it as your XP laner or something. And what I mean by roamer is this usually a Franco, this is usually a Kalea, this is usually a Cho. These are kind of the 3 main heroes you think about when you're trying to apply a Pickoff strategy. Now, how does it work? You don't want to be picking Zushin mid alongside these heroes. You don't want to be picking Yve. You want to pick a burst mage. Usually with a Pickoff strategy, you like to synchronize the mid laner with the roamer for burst potential. Now, the reason why you do this is because usually your jungle has to farm, your EXP laner has a lane to worry about, your gold laner is going to probably be able to participate in the Pickoff later, but not until later. So there's no point of waiting to be able to pick someone off till 8 minutes. This is why you're usually seeing combos like Franco Farza. You're seeing combos like Cho and Farza. There's other burst mages too, like Lunox for example. That's the reason why you're seeing these kind of combos. Now, Koyo, if you want to explain why this is such a hard counter to split pushing, and then we can talk about why, playing the ube strategy or playing the, group up strategy doesn't permit these Pickoff players to actually have a chance.
All right, thank you, Zex. Now we're doing a presentation. Okay, so to put it simply, if you can eliminate the enemy core before a team fight, your chances of winning the objectives increases dramatically. But think of it this way: imagine if you go in, you're Franco Farsa, you go in, Franco dives in with Flicker ult because he couldn't land his hook for some reason, and you fail to kill the enemy. So what's gonna happen? You wasted all your skills, all your spells, and the enemy is still alive. So now you're gonna lose the team fight. And if this is a large team fight, you're gonna lose the game. So this strategy requires good timing and coordination, and it's easily countered by the group up, or aka the ube strategy, because you're gonna have hard time to pick off enemies when they are grouped up.
So yeah, imagine it this way, right? You're playing a Pickoff strategy, you have a Franco on the team, he manages to hook maybe the enemy Fredrin or the enemy's, let's say jungler in this case, my bad, he manages to hook the enemy's mid. When the whole 5-man enemy team who is stronger than you at team fighting is there, they are going to jump on. And even if you manage to kill that mid laner, they're going to force a clash that you cannot win because your strategy is meant to really dwindle down their numbers before starting a fight. Of course, what do I mean by this? Franco would need to hook that person and completely displace them from their team before their team could react for it to potentially work. But the chance of this happening to players who really know how to play a group up strategy is extremely low. And with that in mind, because you're going to be losing those team fights because group up is the strongest team fighting archetype for 5Q drafts, you're going to just struggle. It's not going to be possible, right? So that is the main reason why group up doesn't really care about playing versus a Pickoff strategy, but at the same time, split pusher love to play versus group up. So you need to see it kind of like a triangle. I don't know if Koyo is going to put a little overlay for you guys to see it. Like this counters that, that counters this, right? Yeah. Overall, Just keep in mind that if you don't play it properly, you can still win even if you're at a disadvantage with your drafting archetype. But for the most part, you need to try to give yourself every little advantage that you can get. And if you're drafting better than the enemy in terms of the archetype that you are picking, aka your archetype counters theirs, and you play it properly, you are going to have a significantly better time versus that enemy team.
Now maybe you're asking, why do I need to know this when I just clicked on the video to understand the picks and bans? So let me explain this with an example. You're in 5Q, your roamer picks Tigreal, and then you go and you pick Zilong, who is a split push hero, because you're an epic. That's your standard for split pushing. And then your jungler, he's an epic, also your 5Q epic, nothing wrong with that. You pick Tigreal, you pick Zilong, and then your jungler goes in and picks Yin. So you have a team fight roamer, a split push EXP laner, and a Pickoff jungler. So where do you guys want to go with this team comp? This is bound to fail. Unless for some reason the enemy picks a horrendous lineup, this is versus an enemy who knows how to play the game, is bound to lose.
And that's something very important to consider. You need to give yourself every single little advantage. Do you guys know that in MPL, the drafters and coaches use an analysis app to figure out who is the best hero and why? This is also being applied to other regions. This is an MPL exclusive. But when drafting is that important, of course, I'm not expecting you to know the exact perfect analysis, but it's something to consider, right? For an example, I did a scrim recently with my team, and one of my players, who is the gold laner, didn't want to play Xborg, right? The enemy team went for a Fredrin, Ruby on XP, Valentina in mid lane, and a Gato on Roam, and I went for Xborg. Now, when you have this kind of enemy team comp with Xborg on XP, who is not meant to be an XP laner, I was pretty much a teddy bear. It was very easy to get rid of my shield, takes me way too long to scale, and this was not the right pick. Of course, we still won that game because we were the better team, but just to give you guys perspective, if I managed to pick a different hero, for example, there was Alice potentially, there was Phoveus potentially, there was, these kind of heroes, I would have gotten through the fact that they could not kill me. If you think about it, Fredrin, Ruby, Valentina, Gato, who is going to burst me? Nobody. So Phoveus into that team comp won't die, right? Alice into that team comp won't die. So now that you understand archetypes better, we have to talk about picking the correct heroes in the draft. As long as you're picking a hero that can get very strong amounts of value versus the enemy team comp that also aligns team's draft, you are going to be putting yourself at a monstrous advantage. Too many people have the misconception, as Koyomi said, that I can just pick any hero at any point, and as long as I'm very strong micro and macro wise with them, I'm going to have a very good time. Yes, you might, but being honest, you probably could be literally 2 to 3 times worse on a specific hero and have still a 2 to 3 times better time because they are the better hero for the draft, right? Does that make sense?
Now that we covered the gameplay style strategies, the major strategies, guys, because if we're gonna dive deeper into this, we're not gonna finish this video in an hour or 2 hours. This is gonna take days. So now we're moving to the ban phase, and before we say anything and before I explain anything, let's 1 minute of silence for people who ban Nana, for people who ban Zilong, for people who ban Saber, for people who ban Yin, people who ban Hanzo. We'll remember you. Please delete the game. We'll remember you guys. Thank you so much. Now that Dark System had deleted the game, hopefully, now we can talk. Okay, so I've seen so many people ban heroes just because they are annoying, just because dealing with them on their lane, because they have the lower mechanics, make them struggle. Even though those picks aren't meta, aren't usually picked, and they're not technically counters for their heroes, which is totally wrong. For example, if you're struggling versus Nana, don't ban Nana. Don't ban Nana, okay? Ban Zushin, ban Kimi, ban the meta heroes. And this is the first part of the bans. Ban the meta heroes. If, for example, let's say you go into queue, either you're in tournament mode or in ranked mode, let's say you're playing scrims, like Zach said, if you're playing scrims, you don't have the first pick, and what you're gonna do, first ban the meta picks, deny the enemy the meta picks. By meta, we mean most efficient tactics available. So every season, every patch, there are heroes that are obviously stronger than other heroes in their role. Like, for example, at the time of recording this video, YSS is stronger than any other jungler in the game. Lancelot is stronger than any other jungler in the game. In 5Q, Baxia is stronger than any other jungler in the game. So, banning those heroes just to deny the enemy those picks is the smartest thing to do.
You need to also consider when you have first pick or when you have second pick, you need to ban certain heroes but leave other ones open. With the fact that there is a total of 10 bans if you're playing in rank, or with the fact that there is 3 bans before the second ban phase in tournament modes and in scrims, you have to consider this fact, right? So what I'm trying to say is this, okay? There is many times that many teams will leave Lancelot and YSS open, and they will try to prioritize something else because the enemy can only take one of the two. Does that make sense, chat? So, for example, your team might want to prioritize Grok because there is 2 heroes that are very strong in jungle, and your jungler can play them both. So, we will ban things that could be annoying for Grok, for example, like a CC, other heroes that can piss him off, like a Zushin, these kind of heroes that would counter your heroes that you want to prioritize, which is why priority pick is very important. But now what if the enemy has first pick? Well, we want to deny certain heroes while also giving ourselves the opportunity to get 2 strong heroes to match their first pick. So, if the enemy team takes a Grok, for example, you don't want to ban Gato because now you're denying your second roamer pick. So you have to consider these factors as well. A lot of people have problems. They will ban Grok, they will ban YSS, and then the enemy team will go for a first pick Gato. And even if you get Hayabusa, they will just go Joy and something else that's very strong, like an Arlet or an Alice, and you're instantly losing this draft. All because you didn't ban properly. So don't just randomly go in and ban only, the heroes that are very, very top. You have to consider that leaving these heroes open gives you the opportunity to pick them as well if the enemy doesn't take them.
Now that we've talked about meta heroes, there are the second type of bans, hard to counter heroes. And whenever we say hard to counter heroes, there is always one hero that comes in mind, Fanny. Fanny, guys, is a special case. Whether she's the meta right now, whether she's an A tier or an S tier, she is always, most of the time, every single time where a team knows they struggle versus her, she's in the ban section.
When Koyomi's talking about Fanny, you guys need to understand this fact. This is very, very simple. Fanny is considered the condition that if the enemy jungler can play it, you have to ban it. There is no choice. Fanny can be D tier in the meta, you have to ban it because of how much value she brings. Even if Fanny's not able to get pickoffs, she still has so much movement around the map and too much strength. So with that in mind, if the enemy team can play Fanny, it needs to be banned. Now, if you're in 5-man RG, you won't be able to know. If you're in a tournament lobby, you probably won't be able to know because you're not going to be able to check the enemy team's profiles. But if you have even slightest idea that the enemy can pick Fanny, she needs to be one of your bans. And that is one of the strengths of having a jungler who knows how to play Fanny, because the enemy team will always have to throw a ban onto Fanny, giving you the opportunity to prioritize better stuff.
Fanny suits every game style. She can split push, she can pick off heroes, she can play in a team fight. She is well-rounded in every single gameplay style. So banning her is the wisest thing you can do. Now that we've talked about meta heroes, hard to counter heroes, now we're gonna talk about heroes your team can't use. So it's pretty basic. The same thing that applies to Fanny applies to other heroes. So let's say you have the first pick, but your jungler can't play Lancelot, can't play YSS, can't play Baxia. Oh my god, please get another jungler. No, I'm joking. But
he's not joking. He's not joking. You really need to find another jungler. Come on, guys. It's 2025. We need to be playing the meta. If you really want to push in rank and you actually want to play in a professional scene of any sort, and you are a jungler, you need to play the meta. I am so tired of hearing, why can't I just play fucking Thamu's jungle in Pro C? Okay, I'm not talking about Gyro if he watches this video. I'm just saying in general, there's way too many people telling me some random stuff like, okay, go ahead. But when you get destroyed, you will realize why. Why do you think Alu's not picked in pro scene?
I was gonna say, guys, don't pick Halloween 5.
Don't do that stuff, okay? Like, here's the thing. Like, with 5Q, it can be a condition. Like, Alu fits into team fight comps. But of course, there's always a better hero. There's always a better jungler. So, you have to consider that fact. When you're drafting, okay? The whole reason you're watching this video is to give yourself that advantage. I just want y'all to understand one thing, okay? If we were to play right now, me and my team, versus a top 4 team in North America, and they draft like shit, even if we were worse than them, we would probably win that game because of draft. So when we're talking about very high level gameplay, drafting is crucial. And that's why you guys need to understand how to draft. If you don't know how to draft, you're already losing half of the game. How many times have you guys heard people say this game is over before it even started? Because those people understand how to draft.
So guys, back to the example. If you're jungler, if you're mid laner, for example, since we've been hammering your poor junglers, let's take examples as mid laners. If you're a mid laner, for some god knows what reason, can't play Phaza, can't play Kimi, can't play Eve, can't play Zushin, ban Zushin, ban Kimi. You can't handle them. This meta is brutal. You can handle them in mid lane. There is no way you let the enemy take them. Even if you have first pick, if your mage can play them, ban them. It's pretty simple.
Very simple.
So lastly, guys, last part of the bans. Let's say for some weird reason, you managed to ban all the meta heroes. You can't, by the way. You managed to ban all the hard to counter heroes. You can't. I mean, you can, technically. You managed to ban all the heroes your team can't use. You can't. Obviously, there is no one in this world who can play all the heroes in their lane. Unless you're some sweaty MPL pro player or Kyrie. I mean, even Kyrie can play every single jungler perfectly. Let's be clear. Even Kyrie can play every single jungler. Considering that junglers are tanky junglers, utility junglers and assassin junglers and everything. So you can technically play every single hero, but by some miracle, let's say you're crazy dude, you're culty D, for some reason you play every single hero in your lane perfectly, then okay, good for you. Now, the last part of your ban should be gameplay specific bans. So, it's pretty simple. Remember those 3 gameplay stats we talked about? Now you're gonna implement them in the ban phase. So, if you're going for group up strategy and you still have slots for the ban section and you don't know what to ban, obviously don't ban your own heroes. Ban heroes that counter your gameplay style. So if you're going for group up, ban heroes who can split push. If you're going for a split push, ban heroes who can pick off. If you're going for a pick off, ban heroes who can set up. It's pretty simple. Technically, you won't have to do this if you ban correctly the first 3 types. You won't have space to ban other heroes. Fortunately, this game only lets you ban up to 10 heroes. But just for your information, if you ever feel like you don't know what to ban.
Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next video we'll be talking about the pick phase. Till next time, when I see you, I hope you stay safe. Johnny!